With the change of the year, people make goals to improve themselves. Now, generally, one of the improvements or goals is self development. And how do we get this information for self development? Well, most of the time it's by reading. So, my wife says I cheat in this regard. I find consuming through audiobooks much faster as compared to reading. But hear me out. I have a 55-minute commute to work, and I thought, what better way to catch up on some reading than listening to an audiobook? My wife, on the other hand, loves the paperback version of books. She likes the feel of it, I guess. Me, on the other hand, if it isn't a comic or graphic novel or manga, I would rather just use the audiobook. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting information through audiobooks. And in some cases, it's actually quicker. With that being said, though, if you're going to be listening and driving, please pay attention to the road as well. Now, with regards to ebooks, I don't have a Kindle, but I do have a tablet. And yes, it is possible to use a device to read like the ones mentioned. However, whenever I'm reading in the evening and I'm using a paperback book, as soon as I get sleepy, the book will fall on my face, which in this case is not too much of a problem. But now imagine if you're using a Kindle or a tablet and that device falls on your face, it can even break your nose. Well, not really break your nose, but it can fall off the bed and your device could crack. So there's one problem. And then there are all these studies stating that you should not be staring at your screens an hour before you go to bed. So apparently that's bad for your health. I know majority of us do stay out of screens up until we fall off to sleep. So what do you use to read and get information? Let me know in the comments below. Imagine if there was a device in which you could plug into your head and transfer all the required data. Now that, my friends, is technological advancement. Obviously, you will be obviously, I can't say that word. I cannot say it. Susceptible to hacking. But I mean, hey, it's an option. Okay, we're getting off topic now. So I know that any method you use will be beneficial, but whatever is best for you, go with that. And for me personally, it's Audible. Now, in no way is this video sponsored by them, but I use this app on a daily basis, and by far it's the best investment I've made in my development. I don't mind paying that monthly subscription because you can buy a new audiobook every month, and that means 12 new books a year. Plus, they have Audible Plus, which are free books which you can download and read, and sometimes there are some hidden gems of books in there. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages of each method, and these are my views on them. With audiobooks, the advantages are that you can use these at any time. Majority of the people have a cell phone, and while commuting, doing chores, working out, you can easily listen to an audiobook, and that makes the time go by faster. Some of these books are actually read by the author. For example, last year I listened to a book by Kevin Hart and another by David Goggins, which was a very interesting experiencing hearing them read their books of their story. Now, a disadvantage is that not all books are released with an audio version. So that kind of sucks. And some of them are even region locked. So if you live in a specific country, you might not have access to certain books. Now, for ebooks, there are multiple platforms that offer ebooks with a large variety. I'm sure that some of these platforms also offer free books. So again, it's easier to go through multiple books per year on a subscription basis. The main disadvantage I can think of is the comfort of using a device like this for reading. I believe that majority of people would rather use a paperback book as compared to a solid device in their hands. Also, in our day and age, as soon as people have a device in their hands, I would believe that majority of them would find their way to some sort of social media platform to scroll away for an hour or two instead of actually reading the ebook. I'm not going to lie, but sometimes I also fall victim to this as well. Now, with paperback, I believe the feel of having the book in your hand and the smell of a new book is one of the advantages. And some people, I'm not mentioning names here, but my wife loves the idea of building up a library at home. A disadvantage I see is the cost of new books. Sure, you could budget and buy a new book every month, but considering the fee versus the price of a new books, I think it would be cheaper to be on a subscription method. Also, you would have to do some research on a book to determine whether it's a book you actually want to read. Whereas on the free platforms, you can try a book out, and if it's not to your liking, you can always change to another book or an audiobook. And unless you have a decent library near you, you'll have to pay for more books that you'd want to read during the year. My favorite method is Audible or audiobooks. But as long as you're doing something to self develop, I believe that you're on the right track. So the video in the background is again Grim Dawn. I'm really enjoying this game. I'm building up the soldier. I want to reach end game and see what other skills I can open up before I change characters on this game. If you like content like this or enjoyed this ramble, then hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. And until next time, take care and happy self development.